Good afternoon, girls, and welcome back to our Daisy virtual programs. My name is Hanorah, and I work for the Girl Scouts of Suffolk County in the Programs Department. And this week, we'll be doing some cooking creations. And for the Girl Scout Daisies, I thought it would be a fun idea to try out a couple of recipes because summer is upon us. So let's do some summertime treats. For our first summertime treat, we will be making a creamy, dreamy banana pudding parfait. So you'll need some vanilla wafers, some whipped cream, a box of vanilla instant jello pudding, a handful of bananas. You can use between 3 and 5, that's your choice, a can of sweetened condensed milk, a big mixing bowl, and a smaller mixing bowl. And you can use a whisk or a mixing spoon. So my first step is I wash my hands before I do anything. So warm soap and water before you do any type of cooking. And I have my small mixing bowl ready to go, a cutting board and a knife. So please make sure that you have a parent helping you cut up your bananas. So I'll be opening up my bananas, and I will be cutting these bananas into thin, small slices. You'll also use a can opener to open up your sweetened condensed milk and transfer the sweetened condensed milk into your smaller bowl. Because what we're going to do is we will be coating our bananas so that they're extra sweet and that they're easier to mix in with our pudding. And after adding your bananas, you'll use a mixing spoon or a scraper to really coat those bananas with the sweetened condensed milk, and you'll let these sit and absorb the sweetness from the condensed milk. Now we can get started on our pudding mix. So you'll open up your instant vanilla pudding mix. So what instant vanilla pudding mix is instead of using it over a stove top, this is made specifically to kind of cut some time in half. And you'll add a wet ingredient and it'll thicken within between 5 and 7 minutes of mixing. So I'm emptying the contents of the instant vanilla pudding into my big mixing bowl, and I'm adding 2 cups of cold milk. So now you'll take this time to really mix in the pudding mix and your cold milk. I recommend using a whisk because it makes sure that there aren't any loose clumps in your pudding. And you're going to just keep mixing this between 5 and 7 minutes, and you'll watch the reaction between the 2 ingredients into a thicker pudding. As you can see that the pudding mixture is getting thicker, and this is what's called, it's at a soft set pudding. Now I'm going to be adding my bananas and my condensed milk and mixing that together. I like my pudding a little more loose, but if you want a firmer pudding, you'll take your pudding at this point and you'll put it in the refrigerator either overnight or for about 4 hours. I won't be doing that just yet. So now I'm going to completely combine my bananas, my condensed milk, and my pudding mixture so it's completely combined and ready to add my whipped topping. After mixing it so that it was nice and smooth, now I'll be adding my Nilla wafers, and I'm just using my hand to crush up about 3/4 of my Nilla wafer bag. I am saving a few for decoration at the end and to add for layers as well. So here I will just be adding crushed up Nilla wafers so that it'll soak up that pudding and become a cakey texture. And then I'm going to also add some more bananas before I refrigerate it. Now that I let it sit for 4 hours in the refrigerator, it's ready to start layering. So I used a little cup because I'm gonna make individual portions, but you can also put it into a cake pan if you wanted to serve it to a big group of people, but I'm going to do individual portions. So I'm going to put some of my extra Nilla wafers at the bottom, and then I will add some of my pudding mixture on top of those Nilla wafers, a couple bananas, and I'm just going to keep layering it until I get to the top. now for some extra decoration, I'm going to put some full vanilla wafer cookies and a couple of banana slices because presentation is everything. And that's what I call a summertime sweet treat. Nothing says summer more than some s'mores. So we'll be making some s'mores treats. You'll need some butter, some golden graham cereal. I'm using a s'mores version of this. You'll need some milk chocolate chips and some jumbo marshmallows. You'll need adult help for this part as well. So what you'll need to do is melt your butter in a saucepan over some medium heat until the butter is fully melted. As my butter is melting, I am using a cookie sheet and I am lining it with some wax paper so that we could transfer our finished treats onto here so nothing sticks together. And I'm gonna set that aside. Like I said before, I'm using the s'mores version of the golden graham cereal, but I am going to add some more of my chocolate chips in there. And you'll add chocolate chips with your golden graham cereal and mix it up pretty well. I also have a couple of marshmallows already mixed in there. So if you'd like to add, if you have mini marshmallows, you can always add some extra mini marshmallows. Similar to making Rice Krispie treats, here's the part where you will be adding your marshmallows in so until they're completely melted before adding your s'mores mixture. So you could either cut them into smaller pieces to make it go a little quicker, but I will be putting whole marshmallows in there and letting it fully melt, kind of like a fluff. Now that my marshmallows are almost completely melted, you can see it start bubbling. Now I can begin to add my cereal mixture right into the saucepan. You'll want to do this little by little so that way it gets combined evenly. You don't want too much of the cereal gathering together. You really want the marshmallow to mix in nicely with your cereal mixture. Now that my mixture is fully combined, it's time to transfer it to the baking sheet that we had put down on a cookie sheet before. I'm going to spray this a little bit with some Pam spray just to make sure it's not sticking too much to the wax paper. Now, a little trick to make it easier for you to transfer your mixture onto the wax paper is to also spray your spoon or spatula or scraper with some Pam spray as well. It'll just make it easier for you to be able to flatten it into a snack bar. As you see, I'm using a flat spatula to really spread out my mixture into a uniform piece so that's good sizes for everybody to eat, that it's not just a clump of s'mores on a piece of wax paper. And then I'm going to fold over some more wax paper and use my hands to really press it down evenly. Now, once I've completely flattened down my s'mores mixture, I'm going to let it cool off for about 15 to 20 minutes, either in a refrigerator or you can leave it on your kitchen counter. It might take a little longer. You don't want to cut this mixture until it's completely cooled because if it's melty, you won't be able to get uniform slices of a snack bar. So I'm going to let my mixture cool for about 15-20 minutes in the refrigerator, and then I'm just going to cut them into bite-sized snack bars. So now your finished snack bar should look something like this. Now you can enjoy a campfire treat in the comfort of your own home. I hope you girls had a great time today with me, and I hope that you are enjoying those delicious summertime treats, and we'll see you next week for more programs.